All right, so today we're diving into this really fascinating concept of ascended masters. But to really get it, we're not going to start with them. We're going to start with you.
So let's just jump right in. Seriously, take a second and think about this. What are you? Like at your most basic fundamental level. Because the answer to that question, well, it's the key that unlocks everything else we're about to talk about. And here's the answer according to the source material, you are self-awareness. It's really a two-part thing, right? First, there's the simple, undeniable fact that you exist. You're aware. And second, there's that sense of identity that comes with it, that feeling of who you are. This idea, self-awareness, is our foundation. It's the starting point for this whole journey.
Okay, so keeping that idea of self-awareness in mind, let's finally tackle the big question. What exactly is an ascended master? The way it's presented here, it's not just some title for a historical figure. It's a potential. It's a state of being that's possible for any self-aware consciousness.
It really just boils down to focus. See, for most of us, right now, our self-awareness is locked in right here, in the material world, in our physical bodies. An ascended master is just a being who's learned how to shift that focus. They've raised their self-awareness up to the spiritual realm. So it's not a change in what they are, it's a change in where their attention is.
So why are we so focused on this material world then? What's the point? Well, here's a really cool idea. This entire universe is basically a training ground. Think of it like a cosmic schoolroom, a feedback device that's been perfectly designed for one reason, to help us grow and expand our own self-awareness.
And hey, if it's a school, then you know there's a graduation process. It all starts with consciously raising your self-awareness. That leads you to gain mastery over your own mind, and by extension, the material world. After that, you've got to pass the final exam, a process they call ascension. And finally, you graduate by attaining a light body, moving beyond the physical classroom.
Now, what's really interesting is that this isn't some single one-size-fits-all path. It turns out there are actually two very different kinds of beings who've walked this road to mastery.
So let's get into these two groups, because understanding the difference between them is actually super important for seeing the bigger picture and how we all fit into it.
The first group, these are the ones that are probably easiest for us to wrap our heads around. These are beings who actually did it. They lived on Earth in a physical body just like you and me. They dealt with all the challenges, all the density of the material world. That's what makes them such amazing teachers. They've already blazed the trail we're on. And the really incredible part? Many of them have vowed to stick around and help the rest of us find our way.
And this is the absolute key right here. Their understanding isn't just some abstract theory. They get it. They've been in our shoes. They know exactly what it feels like to be human. And that first-hand experience makes all the difference. All right, now for the second group. This one is a little more mind-bending. These are ascended beings who never came down into a physical body, at least not in our corner of the universe. To really understand this, we need to zoom out and look at how the universe is supposedly put together.
The concept is basically that creation happens in layers, like a cascade. You have beings in a higher spiritual sphere, and they create the entire reality just below them. And then the beings in that sphere create the one below them. And on it goes, all the way down from one ultimate creator. Our material universe is just one of those layers in the stack.
Now, this isn't just some abstract cosmic blueprint. This is where the story gets really, really personal. Because this layered structure, it actually describes a direct relationship between us and those non-embodied masters we were just talking about.
Which of course leads to the big question, right? If our entire reality was created by the beings in the sphere directly above ours, who are they?
The answer, and you might want to sit down for this one, is startlingly simple. They are us. Or, to be more precise, we are them. We are individualized extensions of the very beings who created our universe, sent down into this denser reality to experience it, to grow, and to help raise the whole thing up.
So let's unpack that for a second. What does this actually mean? Well, for one, it totally reframes who we think we are. We're not some separate, flawed species. We're literally extensions of a greater consciousness. This also changes the whole relationship. These beings aren't some distant gods waiting to judge us. They're intimately connected to us. Our growth is their growth. And while we might have forgotten this connection, they haven't, not for a second.
Okay, let's bring this all the way back home. We've gone from your personal self-awareness all the way out to the structure of the cosmos. So, what's the actual personal takeaway from all of this?
You know, one of the biggest fears people have when they explore these kinds of spiritual ideas is losing themselves. just being absorbed into some giant cosmic blob. But the source material is super clear about this. That is not what this is about.
In fact, it's the exact opposite. The whole process of being raised up is described as a gain. You're not losing your individuality. You're shedding the limitations of the small, separate self so you can merge with your true, higher spiritual self. You don't lose yourself, you find yourself.
And that brings us full circle, right back to you. The whole idea here is that you aren't just some random person in a random universe. You are an essential piece of the consciousness that created it. So the question I want to leave you with is this. If you really let that sink in, the idea that you are part of something so much greater, what does that make possible for you right here and right now?